I've got an English major. What do I do in real life with this? And of course, the answer, as it has been for so many English majors, is I'm going to do something that uses my skills and uses my degree, and I'm going to tend bar.
Right.
So I became a bartender, and I tended bar for 9 months, and in Montana, back in Montana, I rented my parents' cabin from them. They gave me a deal on rent, but I was paying rent, man. I was an adult, and I worked half time at the bar, or I worked 35 hours a week, I guess not half time. But I sort of worked nights at the bar, and I wrote during the day. And then I was like, this is kind of a miserable life. And I heard from this girl I knew, from back in 7th grade in high school, and we started getting interested in each other. And I was like, well, you can't do these things long distance. So I moved out to where she was finishing a master's degree, out in Oregon, and I, moved to the next town over where I could find a job, and I taught high school English for a year as I was pursuing this girl and sort of pursuing this dream. And I wrote absolutely nothing that entire year because if you want to be even a halfway decent teacher, you all your creativity goes into that, and probably especially, I'm sure, in the first few years. So I loved my kids. I did not love grading. I loved sharing the love of the written word with them, and beating them down with grammar and stuff. It was very fun. I still see some of those kids. I saw one of them just a couple of weeks ago. So. Had a great time, but wrote nothing. And then Christy and I got married, and she said, I want you to write, and I became a house husband, and I made her breakfast, dinner, and lunch, and I stayed home while she went out and made the bacon, and I should bring it home and I'd cook it up, I guess. And so we just did that for a short time, 5 years. And very quickly learned that being a starving artist is really, really romantic and wonderful and cute for about a month.
Yeah, then it sucks.
And then your bills start arriving, and then it sucks. Yeah,
right.
And so it sucked. And I was 25, and I was the guy who had the dream of being a writer. And that isn't that cute? They're following the dream. And then I was 26, and my friends were starting to have real jobs and maybe get their first. Oh, hey, did you hear your buddy? He just graduated from Harvard Law. Oh, fantastic! I've been unemployed for 2 years now. And then you're 27 and 28. And now you're 29, and all your friends that you graduated with, they now have a dog, an SUV, a home, and a kid on the way. And you're still living in the same little apartment you're living in a long time ago, and it's like, I am not going anywhere. This is not cute anymore. So it got kind of scary, if I have to go get a real job, how am I going to explain I haven't had a job in 5 years. And I thought, I'm going to say, well, I was writing a novel, and people are going to be like, you've been playing video games for 5 years. I'd be like, well, yes, but also, also
right.
Writing a novel. So it was after 5 years, and Christy was, instrumental in all that, and was like, when I wanted to give up, she's like, I'm not ready to give up. I don't feel like that's what we're supposed to do. And got lots of encouragement from other sources as well, and so we stuck to it, and at year 4.5 or something, we there was a guy that I met at this con that I went to, and I'd really hit it off with him, and he read my first book, and he's an editor at one of the big houses, and I really liked my first book, and he was like, "Oh, I've got this idea. I want to do sort of Naomi Novik sort of did this in the UK, but like the romance genre has done this a lot, and like I want to publish your books quickly because I'd done this insane thing where I wrote the first book, and then I had the first book of Night Angel, the Way of Shadows. I wrote it, and then I went, you know what, the smart thing to do would be to write a first book of a completely different series, because if this first book never sells, there's no point in writing the second book, right? Like that's just stupid. And also if I write 2 book ones, you know, of different series, we can be hitting multiple, you know, publishing houses at the same time.
Yeah.
So that is by far the way to do it. And I sat down and I just didn't want to. and I like talked it over with my wife, and I'm like, honey, like I know this is the smart thing to do, but I really just want to tell the second book of Night Angel. And she's like, that's what you need to do. You need to write what you're passionate about. And so I did the stupid thing, and I started writing book 2. And, you know, I got an agent at that point, and then it was like, okay, I'm all in at this point. So I guess I'd already flushed my life down the toilet. Like, let's write book 3. And so I started writing book 3, and then we met this publisher this editor, and he was really interested, and he was reading book 2, and he loved it, and then he got fired.
Oh man!
And we were just like, what? Like, wait, no,
that's not how this works.
And like you have this sense in your head, like you've written this book, and it's like, I think this book would do really well. Like I really feel like it's commercial enough, and it's fun, but like you can read it on just a surfacey level, and it works and it's fun. But if you read it a second time, you see all these extra things, and if you start to look deeper, it works on these other levels as well. But nobody else is seeing that. So am I just crazy? Am I that guy on American Idol who thinks he can sing and just can't?
Whose mom keeps telling him he's great.
Exactly. Like, am I insane, or are these people wrong? You know, and insane. I should just take that insurance job that my buddies offered me, because hey, I could make $32,000 in the first year, and that sounds like just money falling over a cataract, you know, into my arms. I mean, right now. So as you go through these things, it's really of like, do I believe in myself, or do I believe in what I'm doing, or am I just that arrogant? And that was just a huge struggle for 5 years. So it took a year after that guy rejected us. He finally landed on his feet somewhere else. He started to be like, okay, I'm in a place where maybe I can offer another bid. And then boom, like 3-4 places were interested all at once. And it's like, seriously, where were you guys? You know?
Right.